The Princess of Wales announces she has finished chemo in a powerful and emotional video. Plus, experts react to the video and the most touching moments. Do you think in years from now we will look back on this video and maybe this is, like how you said before, kind of the shift in the way that William and Kate communicate with the public?
If I was a betting man, I would say yes.
And Prince Harry drops Polo details, Sir Ian McKellen blasts the late Queen, and Diana's dance teacher tells all. We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hey everyone, and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, and that's Christine, and what a wonderful week of news we have to talk about.
We did say that, we kept saying that we feel like we're getting back into the swing of things. Things are looking up. We're full of optimism, and it's so nice that this week we have some really good news to get into.
We really do. So let's kick it off, obviously, with the Princess of Wales revealing that she has completed her chemotherapy treatment in a beautiful and touching video that shows her with her family. She said the last 9 months have been incredibly tough, while also giving her a new perspective on everything. She said this time has above all reminded William and me to reflect and be grateful for the simple yet important things in life, which so many of us often take for granted, of simply loving and being loved. She added that while she has finished chemo, her focus is staying cancer-free and that her path to healing and making a full recovery is long, and she will continue to take each day as it comes. However, she will be taking on a few more public engagements. She added, William and I are so grateful for the support we have received and have drawn great strength from all those who are helping us at this time. Everyone's kindness, empathy, and compassion has been truly humbling. I watched it and I cried. I'm sure you watched it and you cried. And there's just so much emotion and just vulnerability in this video that was so beautifully produced as well. It's just it was really touching.
There was not a dry eye from anyone who watched this incredible film by Will Warr, who the Prince and Princess of Wales have trusted a few times now, most memorably their anniversary video that was also shot at Anmer Hall, just like this one. This is at Anmer Hall on the Sandringham estate. It's the intimacy of this, this is a family day out. They're having a picnic. They're playing a card game with Kate's parents. It's so honest and vulnerable and raw. And I think that is really allowing that connection with the people. But also, so much of this message, the whole final, section of this message was about people undergoing cancer treatment and how she's still with them and still a part of, this is still a part of her journey. And I think this vulnerability, this normalcy shows what life looks like with cancer and really sort of normalizes that conversation and that imagery. And there's just, we could spend the whole show just hyper analyzing this really incredible video.
Well, what I love about this video too is that besides the beautiful moments with her family, she's behind the wheel. Like, she is the one that's literally in the driver's seat. This is her, her voice, her kind of, reclaiming her narrative. There were so many months where people were speculating about what she was going through. And this is her just kind of laying it all out there. Like, you can't speculate anymore. This is what I've been going through. Like you said, I'm still with all of these people. I'm not hiding, but I'm taking the time to do what's most important for me. And that's with my family. And I think that you can see that they just seem like such loving parents, and like you said, this is just a normal day for them. And I thought it was really just beautifully done.
It was. And she talks about the 9 months, and it's not just 9 months of chemotherapy treatment, but it's the 9 months of, as you said, the speculation, those horrible rumors that went round, if months and months ago, all the stories and exclusive sources revealing things that actually didn't know anything at all because they kept this a private family matter, and this was a time for them as a family. And I think this sort of addresses all of those things in one really beautiful video.
And the Prince of Wales was out in Wales, and he did say to reporters, he said that it's good news, there is still a long way to go. And that's kind of what she echoed in her video as well, that like, we are still not out of the woods yet, and being cancer free is still my main focus.
Yeah, I think we know she, this message was really that she's completed her chemotherapy treatment. There is more healing from this, and that can look different to different people and different patients. But for some people, it might take to 5 years of clear tests to be declared cancer free. It's a
Right.
really complex diagnosis, and that can make a lot of people really nervous. But I think that this video really shows us that what she's received is sort of the best news that we could hope for right now.
Yeah, it's so true. And let's break down the royal rules because so many people have reacted to the news, including royal author Christopher Anderson. He told us that the world is obviously breathing a collective sigh of relief over this tremendous news. Once again, with this incredibly moving, beautifully shot video, Kate proves she is a master communicator and that she, William, and their children are undoubtedly the future of the monarchy. Emphasis on family, healing, nature, empathizing with the health struggles of others. It's all there. And Gareth Russell, of course, royal historian, friend to the show, he echoed that as well. You know, this unprecedented video and how this may be, how this is probably the future of the way William and Kate communicate with the public. Take a look. I love the moments that, like, you know, they're playing cards together, like with the Middletons and things
Yes.
like that. It's just, you know, these normal, quiet moments that we were keen to be witness of. Were you surprised at just how normal it seems like their life is?
I mean, I certainly knew that Mr. and Mrs. Middleton play a big role in
Yeah.
the family. That's sort of
Mhm.
pretty well documented and known. And we
Sure.
know that certainly during the princess's treatment that her parents have been a rock to them and that William's very close with them. And so are the three children. I suppose what interested me is that the videographer, I think the filmmaker, I think it's Will War, who they'd worked with before. I think that was a conscious decision because the children know him. So there wasn't really any sense of the children being nervous or feeling um, a bit like the moment when your parents used to crack out the camcorder when you were
Right.
younger. It was something they were a bit more relaxed with.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think in that sense it was very much to make it look like a normal family life rather than have the children feel that here's a camera. It was simply here's someone the family knows
Sure.
around us, and I think that facilitated it, those much more relaxed scenes. And it
Mhm.
was, I think, it was really nice to see it.
Yeah. As a royal historian, do you think in years from now we will look back on this video and maybe this is, like how you said before, kind of the shift in the way that William and Kate communicate with the public?
If I was a betting man, I would say yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Gareth. He said, you know, I think in a few years from now, we will look back at this video as maybe like a turning point in how they communicate.
Yeah, it's an amazing modernization in this
Mhm.
world where we're constantly sort of, on Instagram stories and
Yeah.
updating
Mhm.
Snapchat and like viral TikTok videos. It's still a very royal way of sharing that content,
Mhm.
but it really keeps up with the modern, social media landscape.
Definitely. And we also spoke with royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams to see what maybe the next few months may look like for the princess. What do you feel like maybe the rest of the year looks like, and maybe what's next for the royal family as they, you know, get into this next chapter?
I think she's hoping clearly to attend the ceremony at the Cenotaph on Remembrance Sunday,
Mhm.
and also probably, I would say definitely hoping to attend to her carols at Christmas at
Mhm.
Westminster Abbey, which of course she's participated in before. And that is probably unlikely this year, but nonetheless, those are the events I think that she unquestionably would prioritize.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people may be marking their calendars for Remembrance Day, that maybe she'll step out for there. Of course, she always does the Christmas Carols concert, which is a very big production, something that she's really passionate about. So hopefully, maybe those are two big events that we can look forward to as we close out the year.
It's just nice to have, events for the Princess of Wales to look forward to. After so much uncertainty, sort of knowing
Mhm.
that we'll probably see her on those days is really a really lovely thing.
It really is. All right, well, let's spill some royalty and shift gears a little bit because Netflix announced that the Duke of Sussex's upcoming documentary series on the equestrian sport Polo will be called Polo and premiere in December. In a statement, Netflix said Polo is a new documentary series that follows elite global players and offers an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the fast-paced world of sports. The update came with 4 still photos, and it looks like, this is the next venture for Harry and Meghan as they Archwell Productions and things like that. And it was and probably unfortunate timing, because a lot of people were like, I can't believe they released this on the same day as Kate's news, but I don't think that Harry and Meghan have that pull over Netflix.
These things are planned so far in advance. It's part of a larger project where you have sort of press teams and marketing teams. So this was just really bad luck and bad timing on Harry's part. Hopefully it didn't, I think it probably took some attention away from the release, but I don't think it is going to detract from the project as a whole. This is definitely, us seeing a step forward in Harry sort of doing the work, getting stories out that matter to him. We know, he's been a polo player for so long, and he's so passionate about the sport, but also the charity and the money that's raised during these polo matches. So I'm optimistic about this project from Prince Harry, but the timing, it couldn't have been worse for him.
Couldn't have been worse. It could have been worse. But Harry does have a lot to celebrate in the next few weeks. His birthday plans were revealed to Hello magazine. He will mark his big day on September 15th with a party for family and friends in Montecito at his home. And then the festivities are set to continue with a weekend getaway in the mountains surrounded by a handful of his closest friends. So it seems like Harry is, settling into life in Montecito, making some friends, and, enjoying his 40th birthday party, which, as he should.
Yeah, I think it's nice to think that he is surrounded by friends and by his little family that can support him. This sort of, even though he's far away from his own family and that those relationships might be really fractious right now, he still has support. He still has people around him, and that's a really nice thing.
Definitely. Well, he's definitely got a friend in Sir Ian McKellen, because it seems like he is on his side after saying that the late Queen Elizabeth was quite rude. He told the Times of London, I'm most definitely on Harry's side. Imagine being born into the royal family. I've been in public life a bit, but these people are in prison. He added, they can't do anything normal. Can you imagine having to be nice to everyone you talk to? He offered his kudos to the royals who can stay sane in that world. Hats off to anyone who does, like the late Prince Philip managed to do, although he was deeply, deeply, deeply eccentric, and I suspect deeply unhappy. Same with the present king. Woo, tell us how you really feel. Charles sort of survives, but he is clearly damaged. As for Harry, he's probably not bright enough or doesn't have the right friends to really help himself. Mind you, he had the pick of all the pretty women in the world. I hope he got the right one in Meghan. Oof, that's the first time I read that out loud, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe he went there.
That's definitely, you can tell he's gotten to that age where he has earned the right to not care what anyone thinks about what he says. There's some, PR manager that's like, oh my God, what do we do now? But I think these are quite funny comments, but interestingly, they sort of echo what lots of people think, that being in the royal family is not really all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, no, it's so true. But at least, like I said, at least he's got a friend in Harry. But it was kind of like a backhanded compliment, I think.
Yes,
so.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But you're so right. He is definitely at that age where he's like, I don't care. I'm telling everybody exactly how I feel. So do you? You've earned it. All right. Well, wrapping up, Princess Diana's dance teacher, Anne Allen, opened up about how the late royal confided in her about her relationship with King Charles. This is according to her new book. She reflected on her relationship with Diana while she gave her dancing lessons following her wedding to Charles in her memoir, Dancing with Diana. An excerpt was published in People magazine, and she recalled how Diana confided in her about her marriage. She wrote, slowly, after a few more minutes of gentle sobbing, Diana said, I just can't seem to do anything right when it comes to my husband. I do love him so much and want him to be proud of me, but I don't think he feels the same way. I just let her talk, not offering advice, but just listen. She continued, I don't understand why I am not enough for him. I think he prefers an older woman. She picked up on the tongue-in-cheek comments that Diana made about Charles and how she suspected that he was allegedly still having an affair with now Queen Camilla. She goes on quite a bit saying that, she never felt like she was enough for Charles. And she said, I know he is seeing Camilla again, and I expected to accept that. Like the other princesses of Wales before, one just turns a blind eye to husbands having a mistress. Why does he not love me? I really don't understand. I mean, it's amazing that, we're hearing these stories now, obviously so many years later, but it seems like she definitely struggled a lot within that marriage, rightfully so, when your husband is having an affair.
Yeah, I think it's so difficult to hear from someone who is so close to her. And I think we know that Princess Diana loved dance, was so passionate about dance and ballet, and so this was really a space where she felt comfortable and probably was really letting her guard down and sort of letting her emotions out.
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a must read. A lot of interesting notes and a look back on a different time in her life. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally Us. A week of wonderful news, like I kicked it off with. It really was. It's so nice to hear that the Princess of Wales chemotherapy treatment is done. So we wish them nothing but the best.
Yes, hopefully this is the beginning of lots more happy stories that we get to share and sort of dive into. And it, November's only really a few weeks away. It's not too far before Remembrance Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let us know what you thought of the video in the comments, and keep subscribing. And Christine and I will see you next week.